On the numbers, I'm a stat guy. I always gotta look at the numbers when it comes to losing quarterback because it's always been thrown on QBs over the past years that this team sucked because of the QB. The run game don't work because of the quarterback. The O-line ain't blocking because of the quarterback. They thought they're running bad plays because of the quarterback. I mean, the fans ain't showing to the game because of the quarterback. The food and concession stinks because of the quarterback. It's always everything but the culture of the team or what's being passed down from the front office down to the coaches to the player. It's a team thing. In New York, culture's been broken for years now, as we know. They haven't been good at all. Yo, welcome back to another episode of Top 10 Topics. I'm your host, D Gray, and I'm followed by my guy, JT, the Chosen One, as y'all might know from Instagram and through streaming platform. Tonight, we have a big night tonight. We will be discussing a little bit about Alex Ovechkin's future in Washington, as well as talking about his chase to being the best record, goal-chasing record out right now. Will he be the best hockey player? We don't know. Also, we talk about the Terps' big loss to the Florida Gators as they took the big loss and went home tonight. Talk about key factors and what went into that loss tonight, as well as talk a little bit about gaming with JT, the Chosen One. I know we're excited about that. And last, we'll finish off with a little bit of Steelers talk to talk about the future for the Steelers. What's up, JT? Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Matter of fact, I should say welcome back to the show.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's been a while.
Me back. Yeah,
man, it's been a long time since you came on the show, man. And I'm excited you're back, man, to talk a little bit about a lot of different things besides the last time we came on the show, we talked about your background a little bit, man. Yeah. People can go back to the old episodes and check out exactly what we talked about then. But we're here now. So we're going to kick it off, man. We don't waste too much time here. We're going to get ready to it. The people want to know, Maryland's going home. You was with me a couple nights ago as we've seen currently this news station. We talked about the Maryland future and things like that. What do you think, looking at the game today, man, Maryland struggling went home. Do you think the factor between Coach Willard's all the distraction around him had a key part in the reason of the big loss tonight for Maryland?
Honestly, I would say it didn't have really a factor in them losing tonight. They lost because the fundamentals were executed properly. But yeah, I wouldn't really say it's the coaches.
Okay, I agree. I think they got outworked. They got outworked there, and that's fine. I wouldn't say that was a bad season for the Terps. I think the Terps had a great season up to this point, and I think everyone back in College Park should be proud of the Terps. I mean, they're not done yet because the women are still playing. They got a game coming up on Friday against South Carolina, which is a pretty good team as well.
I think I heard the commentator say that this would be the first game. The most that they've lost by was 6 points. So this is the first game where they actually were losing to a deficit higher than 6.
100%. And, those people... That's completely correct because Maryland's always been kind of always in the games. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't lose to an opponent that we know as opponent wasn't good. There was no one ranked team in the country for a reason. They had great scores. You had guys that we will be seeing playing on I wouldn't say Monday night if think about football, but playing on every other night in the NBA. Yeah. So
6 guys that had double-digit scores. Also, I heard the commentator say, so that's really impressive. I mean, you have your starting 5 plus the guy coming off the bench that's contributing.
That's key that you say that because when I looked at the stat score or the box score for the players, Maryland really only had 1 or 2 points off the bench.
Yeah.
Where we had guys that had 2 guys in double figures for the Florida Gators, man. You had a couple guys. One guy had about 12, another guy had about 13.
Yeah.
And then you had another guy that had like 2. So they had 3 guys on the bench that came up and put up overall, about 29 points off the bench for those guys, including the starters' points as well. So Maryland struggled right there. They had literally 1 point off the bench. The only person that was really producing for those guys was Rice, Gillespie, and of course we know the guy that's going to probably be most likely a high draft pick, the freshman Dirk Queen. He put up 27 points, I believe. That guy was rolling all night. I'm excited to see where he lands in when it's time for him to get drafted. What I will ask you this: what's the future for Coach Willard? You think he stays? You think he can figure out a way to, as we know, we talked about reconstructing his contract, giving more money. He was complaining about this, complaining about that. What do you think the future is for this guy after taking a loss from this whole past couple of weeks of all this feud going on and taking this big loss What do you think happens next? Do you think he comes back to Maryland and try to redeem this thing and get to the Final Four next year? What happens?
So I would definitely hope that he, works something out to where he returns. Obviously, he has his team his team has bought into him.
Right.
And so, whatever the situations are, I hope it gets settled behind closed doors so that way they could retain him, get a new contract there, and then also, meet him halfway at minimum, so that way he can, feel a little bit more secure at his job position, and he can feel that he has the room to do the extra things that he wants to do to continue making progress with the program.
100%. And once again, Maryland was off to a great start tonight. And I think, once again, for Coach Willard, I wouldn't be hanging my head too low. I mean, I think he had an unbelievable coaching experience. I mean, since he's been with those guys for the past few years, they did nothing but elevate. They kept getting better and better and better as the years went on. And if I'm Coach Willard, man, I know it's been a tough week for him. And dealing with contract extensions, dealing with Damon Evans, the AD, offering him a contract, and then taking a job somewhere else at SMU. It's been a lot of mix-up. If I'm Damon Evans, I'm getting back, and I'm realizing right now what we need to get better at: crashing the boards, figuring out how we continue to get big guys. Yeah, Julian Reese did an awesome job tonight. Could have put a little more points on the board, but hey, he did an awesome job crashing the boards. Derek Queen did, which we're probably gonna lose him to the draft, followed by Rice and Gillespie. We're probably gonna lose those three guys. Maybe lose the whole starting five because they are considered the current five. So we might lose the whole five for next year, and he probably had to rebuild. But some key points I did realize was they looked like they ran out of steam when they played against the Gators tonight. Like they ran a little steam. The Gators got out on them in the second half. And kind of, as you said, you saw the score kind of close. You look back up, boom, up by 20.
Yep.
And it was just like that. They ran out of steam. They didn't have no offense. They had to contribute.
Well, I think what really hurt them was the fact that their point guard, I think he had 4 fouls on him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was 5, but they had to pull him out. That really changed the tide and really hurt Maryland during that game.
100%. So. And we seen guys like Julian Reese avoiding contact to try to contest shots because he didn't want to get more in foul trouble. So all of that played a factor, and it's all because the simple fact that they have to be able to get depth in the future to create more of a thicker team. Because right now all they had was the 5. They didn't really have too much on the bench. So we already talked about what's next for him next for Coach Willard next. Moving on, I really think, for me personally, I think Coach Willard needs to come back. I think he has more work to be done in the I would be year 4 for him.
Yeah.
Year 4 for Coach Willard. I think he needs to come back. Fuck the money, fuck all that. He won't have the resources. Speak up and ask for what you need behind closed doors and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to get the resources what he need and get those guys back rolling, man, for winter workouts, whatever they want to get moving next, and get ready to roll, man, because he have a great team. He have a great culture that he built outside of the BS that's going on through the media. He needs to get back to that, and I feel like they're going to be a good team that's going to contend for a championship next year.
Definitely, yeah.
100%. As we go on to the ice, we head over to the ice with Alex Ovechkin as he continues to go try to chase his goal of beating Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. I'm not a big ice person. I'm not a big hockey person, but I gotta say it's quite interesting looking at Alex Ovechkin, man, as his career unfold right now. First of all, you're a guy that watches NHL a little bit more than I do. He's a slingshot guy. He's a guy that's a sniper that can hit it all across the ice. He's the Steph Curry of hockey. What's next for Alex Ovechkin if he gets that? If he hits that goal, hits .896, which will put him one above Wayne Gretzky. Do he call it quits after this year and hang it up and be one of the best capital players that ever walk on the ice? Or you think he comes back to try to really smoke that score and really get into the 900s?
So it's just, in my personal opinion, it's just in Ovi's nature. I say that he doesn't hang up the cleats. He's definitely...
Or the skates.
All the other skates, I'm sorry. But he's definitely a pillar for the Capitals, have been since day one. Back in my first time, I actually went to see them play when they had the black jerseys and they were trash. But, I don't think he leaves. I think he stays. They continue to work and build on what they have. And I won't be surprised. Ovi's going to hit the target, but I won't be surprised if he actually build upon it,
because they got 11 games remaining, and if you look at stat for stat, we looking at figuring out how many goals he's putting in the net, how often he's putting the puck in the goal every game. He's putting in one at least almost every game.
Yeah.
He might miss 1 or 2, but for the most part, he's putting. I think if you look at the percentages, he's about .1765. So that's almost close to 1 per every game. So if you have 11 games remaining, and he's 6 goals away, he should literally be leaving this thing over 4. He should be well over at least 4 or 5 goals over the mark.
And like we discussed, hockey, he can have a great night where he gets that hat trick, and that's what I'm hoping happens at least a couple of times before the end of the season. And then that would definitely for sure help him get the goal within 2 games if he could get 2 hat tricks.
Right.
And then with the remaining 4 games, now you're just building on that and you just,
It makes sense. Is it safe? I know it might be too early to tell or maybe too late to tell. Who knows? Is it safe to say that Alex Ovechkin is the best hockey player to touch the ice?
I'll say that's a reach. He's one of the best.
Reach?
Yeah.
Why would he be? That'll be a reach. Will he be the leading goal scorer?
Yeah, he could be the leading. He's the leading goal scorer, but there is different roles, right? Because he's a left wing, you got a right wing, you got a center, you got your defensive man, you got goalies. It's different. Like, he's definitely one of the best players to have gotten on an ice rink, but I wouldn't say the best.
You named different positions. So would you say it's easy to defend the puck as a goalie, or is it easy to score in the net as a shooter?
I would say, technically none of it's easy, but shooting the being able to get those shots and to shoot people or pass people open so they can shoot, set them up, I'm going to say it's probably harder
to defend.
No, harder to set up and actually make a shot, to make a puck go in the net.
That's my point. So if he's a guy that's about to be the best scorer in NHL history in a few weeks, you just said it. It's super hard to score a puck and a goal, and this guy's putting it every time, and he's considered almost a Steph Curry of NHL when it comes to long-range shots like that. Is Sidney Crosby
the only reason why I say that is because Sidney Crosby, even though he is retired, but he has multiple. You have other players who have actually dominated, went multiple championship run. Ovi only has 1, and I know a lot of people don't like that argument, but the facts are the facts. One of the greatest players to have gotten on the ice rink, but I wouldn't say the best.
So who would you consider the best?
One guy I know our discussion, Sidney Crosby, just because he was pivotal for the Penguins, and I remember they were the ones that always snapped the dream in the first round for the Capitals, being in high school, watching when the Capitals would make it to the playoffs, and Crosby would just he would just he just do his thing, but unfortunately with all the concussions and having to call it quits early, but
hockey,
you can't. It's like if a hot shot QB come in and then Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady, is he the best quarterback to have played?
Pat Mahomes?
Yeah. No.
I wouldn't say that.
Definitely one of them, high up there.
But
then you got people like Brady who got 7 rings, 10 appearances.
Yeah, just because he's smoking everybody when it comes to the statistics. When you really look at the statistics between Crosby and Ovi, it's not that far. Only thing he has is a ring. Brady has the yards. Brady has the comebacks. Brady has the championship.
I think Crosby has a multiple. I believe they have multiple.
What?
I think they won the championship.
Crosby?
Yeah.
That's my point. I'm saying that you comparing like Pat Mahomes to
I could be wrong.
Comparing Pat Mahomes to any other quarterback in the league, no other quarterback has done what Brady done because of the amount of championships he got, the amount of yards he's thrown for, the amount of comebacks he got. It's just the margin between him and every other quarterback that comes behind him it's nothing. When you have Ovi and Crosby, they similar. Only thing Ovi is missing is just the
Crosby is a playmaker, so he sets his guys up. He wasn't the person that was necessarily leading and scoring. He will score, but he was that guy. He was the Rondo.
He was the Rondo.
Yeah.
Okay, he was the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, makes sense. So What's next? Once again, I think you already said this answer. You think he comes back for more?
Definitely. Yeah,
He comes back for more.
Yeah.
I think if I'm Ovi, he's been through a lot. He's saying this man with no teeth in his mouth. I'm talking about dentures at this point almost. I think he hangs it up after the season just because, I mean, what is there left to do besides win more championships?
There you go.
What is there to do besides win more championships? Do I think the Capitals really going to win at least, how many did Crosby have?
I think like 2 or 3.
I mean, he had to play at least 6 more years to make that happen.
But you got to also know the Capitals are they're regular. They
100%.
make playoffs.
100%. They are the first team right now that's clinched into the playoffs right now, NHL playoffs right now. They're the only team that's clinched right now. So, but once again, it don't mean anything. It's been a lot of teams that went 13, 14-0, 15-0, and was the first team clinched in the NFL and the first one out.
Yeah.
So, like, the job still needs to get done. You feel me? As we move on right now to the next topic, as we talk about Steelers' future right now, there's a lot of things brewing up in the media right now as we looked at Cam Hayward on NFL networks. Good morning football, as he had some remarks to say about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers and the move of potentially moving on to the Steelers and them trying to pick up a guy like Aaron Rodgers when they just inked a 2-year deal with former Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph, bringing him back to the Bird? What are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers potentially being a Steeler?
I just want Aaron Rodgers to find a place and just stay there and just play fucking football. Just play football. If it don't work, don't leave. Don't leave. Invest.
Well, he didn't leave New York. They released him.
Well, because he wanted to be released.
But
and that it's just like,
who wants to play in New York though? Let's be real. Who wants to play in that shit?
He did. That's why he went there.
I mean, obviously it might be some undercut lines that must have wrote some small letters in the bottom of his contract and promised him some stuff.
It's just freaking pick a. If you're gonna go to Pittsburgh, go to Pittsburgh. Commit to Pittsburgh to your career because that's close. And just play ball, bro. Invest and play ball.
So you feel like over the time these past 3 to 4 years, Aaron Rodgers has lost himself?
I'm not gonna say he's lost himself, but unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunately, he hasn't lost himself, but obviously other puzzle pieces are needed in order for him to get the output that will help him to be successful.
Because he's not like a Brady that
he's not like a Brady.
He can throw to anybody, huh?
Exactly.
Clearly, we have a Brady fan over here. Clearly, we have a Brady fan. Brady can't do nothing wrong.
I mean, they brought what's his name to the Big Apple. They brought him.
Who?
And they actually you corrected me, right? We looked at their stat sheet for the previous season, but still at the end of the day, they just weren't able to get the job.
As we looked at, like I said, we looked at the stat sheet. Kyle was just curious because we said that he needed to be out of New York. He played like shit. Well, when we look at the nuts and look at the stats, on the numbers, I'm a stat guy. I always gotta look at the numbers when it comes to losing quarterback because it's always been thrown on QBs over the past years that this team sucked because of the QB. The run game don't work because of the quarterback. The O-line ain't blocking because of the quarterback. They thought they're running bad plays because of the quarterback. I mean, the fans ain't showing to the game because of the quarterback. The food and concession stinks because of the quarterback. It's always everything but the culture of the team or what's being passed down from the front office down to the coaches to the player. It's a team thing. In New York, culture's been broken for years now, as we know. They haven't been good at all. So when my point is right now is that they brought Devontae Adams in mid-season to try to help him out. But like I said, when you look at the numbers, he threw for almost 4,000 yards, almost shy. He's about a couple thousand yards shy of a 4,000 yards passing season. He threw 11. He threw 26 touchdowns.
I feel like that's a given. When you have Aaron Rodgers, expect that.
Yes. But as we looked at the season schedule, they haven't been blown out. They've been in close games all year, but 4 or 5 games.
That's even worse in my opinion.
At the end of the day, the defense has to stand up. They had Quentin Williams. They had, Quincy Williams at linebacker that had a hell of a season last year. And I mean, that guy played with me in Jacksonville. Had a great year. But they need to step up more in defense. Yes, the offensive line can get better. Yes, everybody can get better. But I feel like A-Rod, it was not the cancer of that program.
I'm not saying he was the cancer. I don't think he was the cancer. But I look at it like the drastic move of getting Devontae and bringing him there to Aaron. If it was a defensive problem, I feel like the organization, the coaches would have sought results to help the defense. They didn't. They went and they got a receiver who had chemistry that played with him before, and still they weren't able to win those close games, even having that dynamic duo. And it's just like, ah,
As I understand. So you believe right now that A-Rod will be a good fit for the Steelers, or you think they should move on and just rely on Mason Rudolph's talent to try to help?
honestly, Aaron Rodgers is the best choice to
Available
go
quarterback?
with.
Okay.
Letting go Russell Wilson was a horrible decision in my opinion.
What?
Yeah,
What, bro? That system did not fit for that guy.
but the success that they were able to see with Russell Wilson, like
I'm not gonna lie. They looked really good with Justin Fields too. When he was out and Justin Fields, I would have kept Justin there before Russell.
And that leads me to Justin. I can't believe they got rid of him too.
Yes.
So it's like Aaron he's the ace card right now. So it's like go with it
Right.
because Mason,
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like right now Mason has grown a lot. I feel like Mason Rudolph has. I know you feel like the game against Cleveland got hit in the head with the helmet. And this shit was like,
it's like one of those things.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's one of those things. Like I said, when you get Aaron, you know that you're getting a QB who's going to average 3,500 plus, yards passing by end of season. You're getting a guy who has been in 2-minute situations
100%.
and a guy who has playoff experience to help other guys who may not have it on the Steelers program or rookies that they may have drafted. So
but that's cool and all, but do you feel like Aaron is really a team guy? Do you feel like he's really for the team or he's really about himself?
I can't really say that he's not for the team. I feel like Aaron's for the team. I feel like he is.
I can't give him a comment because I don't know the guy physically. I don't know the guy physically. I never touched him. Never
just
been
like
around
the
him.
camaraderie with former teams that he went to, especially when he first went to the Jets before he tragically got injured that first game in his first season with the Jets.
He blew that fucking tendon out.
They were so excited. And
you talking about Aaron old ass blew his fucking tendon out of his Achilles?
Yeah,
and that shit snapped like that piece of meat.
Yeah,
that was a horrible.
And then especially with the Packers and their run that they had. I
mean, he had a great run with those guys. So I mean, I really think that Aaron could really be good because of the simple fact that I know Mike T. Mike T is really about savvy veteranness. He's about the standard. He's about, you know what I'm saying? There's guys coming in being A-list players, not being a guy coming in and have to be a liability. Got to coach a lot. Got to do. No, he don't want. He want dudes.
That doesn't sound like Mason.
I mean, technically,
you bring Aaron in. Do you have to coach him a lot, or is it more so getting him familiar?
But I think it's pros and cons to having a guy like Aaron. It's good that you don't have to coach him, but when shit ain't working, is he willing to listen to someone that's beneath him? Technically on paper. Beneath him, meaning like a coach like Tomlin to tell him, hey, this ain't working.
Renowned. I think I feel Aaron would definitely listen to Tomlin. That crap how him and the other dude, the bald dude, before they let him go, that dysfunction, that ain't happening in Pittsburgh. Tomlin, I don't see Tomlin going like that.
I understand. So what do you think about Cam Hayward's thoughts about not going out of his way to go recruit Aaron Rodgers and him wanting to be, if you want to be part of this organization, he knows what the fuck to do?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. He wasn't signed to the organization to go out and scout. If you want to be a Steeler, you make it known that you want to be a Steeler. If 100%. Not, keep stepping.
So I agree. And once again, I agree with that one too, because bro, we grown ass men, man. We don't have time to be sitting here trying to recruit like this high school. Bro, you should have some type of something in you about wanting to win that you know that's the best organization for you, that no one have to go lay out a red carpet for you and say, hey, Aaron, come to this kingdom. We need you. No one needs you, bro, because they figured out a way to make it work with Mason. And I think they will.
Steelers have, and they did. They found a way to get those wins. Even against the Commanders, it was a little kind of boom, 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 but they found a way to capitalize and then maintain that lead to win that game. So now I totally agree with Cam, because it's just He's there to focus on what he.
If you Aaron Rodgers, you heard that comment. What do you feel like? If you Aaron Rodgers, you feel like you heard that comment?
He shouldn't take it offensive. He should really understand that he is joining a team.
Right.
He has a job, and you're coming in to fulfill that job, to put the team, the organization in a better position to bring a title to Pittsburgh.
100%. And you couldn't say no better than that. But I appreciate you, bro, saying that. But we're not done yet. Let's put our thinking caps on. It's time to do some game time trivia tonight. I hope y'all excited, man. Listening tight, because we about to have a little fun with my guy, JT, the chosen one. We about to see how well that thing up there is working. You ready?
Let's get it.
Let's get on the way. Question number 1. Who is Tony Stark's father?
Tony Stark's father is Anthony Stark. I don't know.
Wrong. Howard Stark from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Number 2. Who was able to pick up Thor's hammer in Endgame?
Yeah, Captain America.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Correct. That is correct. What year, for number 3, what year was PlayStation 1 released?
1998.
Wrong. 1994. Number 4. Who was the cover of Madden 2005?
McNabb.
Wrong.
Oh, no. McNabb was 06. Oh, man.
Last but not least, we're going to get on with this one, y'all. Y'all ready? Who wrote and directed Star Wars?
George Lucas, brother.
And congratulations, brother. You was able to get 2 out of the 5.
That's crazy.
Congratulations. But that wraps up tonight of Top 10 Topics. I'm your host, D. Gray, with our edition Game Time Trivia by your boy 77. Man, we had our guy Josh Thomas come on here, a.k.a. JT the Chosen. Come on, appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it.
And we out. Make sure you say, we out like head grease, baby. Peace like head grease.